My name is Jessica, and if you are watching this video, it's because you or somebody that you know is dealing with Bell's palsy right now. And I just want to be an encouragement to you and let you know that I've been through it and I completely healed 100%. And if I can do it, you can do it. So these are just going to be some of the tips and tricks that I did to help kind of speed along my healing process. So the first thing that I would probably share with you is that you are still beautiful. Okay, I know that this is super hard and that one side of your face is paralyzed. For me, it was my left side, and I couldn't blink, I couldn't move my ear, I couldn't even smile. So the tiniest movements that just come natural to us, we don't have control over anymore, and that can be really, really hard and kind of debilitating. So I would first, go to your closest mirror if you just woke up from a nap or a sleep, and you just notice like you can't maintain normal function on one side of your face. Most likely you do have Bell's palsy. I woke up on Saturday afternoon after a nap, actually the day after I got back from college, and this was in May. And so I couldn't go see a doctor until Monday. And that's okay. So if you just found out and it's during the weekend and there's nothing open, don't panic. Just make an appointment as soon as you can. So your doctor will most likely prescribe you prednisone, which is a corticosteroid, and it's just going to be helpful in reducing that inflammation that is occurring on your face right now. So I am not a doctor, and I'm not even going to try and explain the scientifics behind Bell's palsy, but what most doctors and scientists think is that Bell's palsy occurs after some kind of viral infection or some kind of trauma that has happened to the seventh cranial nerve, which is your facial nerve. So for me, like I said, it was my left side of the face. So it was just everything here. And there's some really cool diagrams that you can look up online, and it'll actually show, kind of the facial nerves will kind of be all here, and then we'll link over to your ear. So it's kind of neat, but obviously, if you've already healed, then it's more interesting. So after you visit a doctor and you get your prescription, don't miss taking your prescription. You really need to do that. It's super helpful. And most likely you'll also be recommended to take vitamin B12, and that's also just going to be really helpful for your nerves in that healing process. The second thing that I would do is I would just hop on YouTube and I would look up Bell's palsy facial exercises. This was really, really helpful in my healing process. There's so many people out there sharing their stories, sharing things that were helpful to them. And just a couple exercises that I found and did really consistently was these. So the first one that I did was you actually take the hand of the affected side, so my left hand, you start from your chin, and you just travel all the way up until the heel of your hand meets your cheekbone, and you just kind of pinch together. And you just do this really as often as you want, but I would say maybe 4 or 5 times consistently before you stop. So that's one that I did. Just one more time. Start down here and together. A second one that I did really consistently, really, really often was take your hand, again, left hand or right hand, really doesn't matter this time, and you kind of start from your brow line and you pull straight up. You're just kind of reteaching your muscles here, just retraining them so when they come back, they can just resume normal function. You can even just go a little bit lower from your eye here. So after you find some exercises that you're comfortable with and you know that you're going to be consistent in doing that maintenance, the third thing I would do is actually consider consulting or visiting a massage therapist who has experience dealing with Bell's palsy patients. I was fortunate enough to find one that a mutual friend knew, and she was fantastic. I was a little concerned at first, like it was a little unorthodox. She really didn't touch my face at all. She went down to the feet and would press something, but I felt like just really relaxed and felt like that tightness had lifted a little bit. So I would really, really recommend seeing or consulting with a massage therapist and seeing maybe if that is a fit for you. Another thing, just a couple of, facial maintenance items is get an eye mask, okay? And I know that at first it's going to be super weird and you're probably not going to be used to it at first, but you will be after a few nights. You really want to sleep with your affected eye closed so that you prevent dry eye. You definitely don't want to get that. That's probably worse than Bell's palsy. And you just really want to protect yourself and prevent anything, any further damage. So getting an eye mask that covers both eyes or one is really beneficial. Also, using eye drops. So your eye is going to be pretty dry. You're not going to be able to just normally blink like you would. And you want to make sure that your eye is moist and is clean. So using eye drops when you wake up in the morning, after you actually before you go to bed, and then just throughout the day too, if you're not constantly doing this with your eye. Sometimes that can be a little annoying. So eye drops are really, really helpful. And the other thing is, and I'll get to my story a little bit later, but whatever you're feeling, I know that it can be really depressing. You don't look like yourself, you don't act like yourself, and that will pass. So as you can see, I've fully healed. And I'll get to that a little bit later. But on the other thing, so if you are a huge foodie like me, you love food, you love the taste of food, and you like trying new things, one of the bad things about Bell's palsy is that you're not going to be able to taste anything on your affected side. So on my left side, I couldn't taste anything. And it really just kind of bummed me out because I didn't really have an appetite much. Bell's palsy for me only lasted a month and a half, which is a lot shorter than most people that I've heard who are diagnosed with Bell's palsy. And it's temporary for everybody, so it will go away. Most people see healing within 2 weeks. I didn't. It lasted a little bit longer before I saw some healing, but majority of people see healing in between 3 to 6 months. But like I said, mine only lasted a month and a half, so I guess I was on the lucky spectrum. And maybe you will too. So hopefully these tips are really helpful. But if you are like me, like I said, and you just don't have a big appetite, I really got into shakes and smoothies. I didn't really want to miss out on getting the nutrients that I needed, but I also didn't want my lips kind of going wonky or my face looking a little construed when I chewed. And so that was just something personally that I did that I thought was really helpful so that I still ate, but didn't have to look different when I did as well. So I hope those tips are really helpful. And here's just a little bit about my story. So I left school my junior year. I got a job offer before I graduated, before my senior year. So I was actually voted, we had like these mock votes within our program, and I was voted best smile. So I was really excited about that, and I was really surprised, and I guess it just kind of made me a little vain. I'm a Christian, and I firmly believe that Jesus allows you to go through things in your life just to humble you and to bring you closer to him. So I believe that I went through this just so that I could humble myself and just grow closer to God. So the first day that I was home after I came back from school, I took a nap in the afternoon. I actually slept on my right side, so when I woke up and noticed that there was some tightness, at first, my mom was like, maybe it's a pinched nerve from you sleeping, and I said, no, but it was on my right side, so we weren't really sure. I went to one of her colleagues' retirement parties, and just kind of talking to people, and at that point, I wasn't really like my face wasn't super tight. I could move it slightly, but I knew like something was off, and I was getting a little worried. Well, that same sweet friend that recommended the massage therapist was there that night and said, honey, I think you have Bell's palsy. You should really go see your doctor. So I made an appointment for Monday morning, and I went in, and just by looking at me, the doctor said, you've got Bell's palsy. She said, no, don't worry. It is going to be temporary. Yes, it's going to be a little disheartening, and you're going to get through it. But if you just, take care of yourself for the next however long it lasts, like you're just going to be fine. It's not life-threatening. It's more threatening emotionally and psychologically. So there's going to be a lot of strength that you will find within yourself during this period. Trust me. So I had about a month and a half since off of school. So I guess free vacation until I was expected to be at my internship. And I'm a tennis pro, so I work with people every single day. And honestly, you guys, I just got super depressed, and I had all these plans like to get together with friends and train and hit and work out. But honestly, I spent a month and a half on my back on the couch because I didn't want to go out anywhere. I was so embarrassed. In latter terms, I was just depressed. Didn't really want to talk to people, didn't really want to go out and do anything. I just wanted to sit on the couch and watch TV and just let this run its course. And my parents and my family were super supportive, but I definitely did kind of drag them through the mud during this time. So if you're feeling depressed, you are not alone. I know exactly how you feel because I went through the exact same thing. And my brothers are really funny, and they actually called me Fishhook because they thought it would make me laugh, but really it didn't work. So nicknames just really weren't my thing back then. And this is about 4.5 years ago. So 4.5 years ago, still hasn't come back, which has been amazing. So my mom would tell me, like, Jess, God's got a plan. I know this is really hard, but you just have to trust him and understand that he's allowing you to go through this for a reason, and we just don't know what it is yet. But we're gonna find out. And honestly, I didn't think anything about it. I was just too concerned about myself and my own selfish desires and just trying to heal as fast as I could because I just couldn't stand the faces, the eyes, the looks, and the questions that I would get every time that I did have to step outside of the house. So until now, I just didn't realize what that was, but I truly believe now that it's just to be a light of encouragement to people going through the exact same thing, and just to draw them back to Jesus and know that he loves you and he is not punishing you for any reason, but maybe he's just doing this so that you can draw closer to him and just grow more spiritually and more mature. So that being said, one of the reasons why I was just really depressed was because I truly did not think like any child or any human being was going to want to get a lesson from me in tennis when I went up to my internship. And I thought, who is going to want to marry me? Who's going to want to marry somebody that can't even move her face, can't even smile, and just isn't pretty? And that was totally a lie. When you're going through this, and kind of your disabilities are shown on the outside externally, you're going to tell yourself a lot of lies, and those are just not true. So definitely fill yourself with scripture, fill yourself with the word, and surround yourself with people who love you no matter what you look like or no matter what has happened to you, because they are truly going to get you through this, however long this lasts, and it's different for everybody. So thankfully, by the grace of God, my symptoms started to uplift, and through the facial exercises and medications and just nutrition that I was filling my body with, I was able to recover in a month and a half, and I was able to resume normal facial function. And till this day, I have not had to worry about Bell's palsy coming back, although in rare cases it does, and sometimes it can come back on the same side or on the opposite side. I will be honest and say that sometimes I will feel a little tightness in my chin where those nerves will kind of tighten up. And at first I'll just kind of pause and be like, oh no, but it goes away. So I am just really happy that I could just get on here and be brave and share my story. And I wish that I would have taken pictures, honestly, of myself and how I looked when I was going through Bell's palsy, and just to do a transformation, just to put a side by side and just show I did go through this, and you may be going through this now, but it will get better and you will have your face back. So I hope this has just been an encouragement. And like I said, if you or somebody you know is going through the same kind of trial, share this video with them or just be an encouragement, and just know that you're not alone. So thanks.